Now, here in Nigeria, the two factions of the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressive Congress appear to be on the warpath again after a period of relative peace. Again, allegations by loyalists of the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amaechi, that the Senator Magnus Abe-led faction is hobnobbing with the PDP administration of Nyesom Wike is the bone of contention. Two members of the party in Rivers State, both claiming to be loyal to Magnus Abe's faction, had recently claimed to have been invited to a meeting in Port Harcourt to residents of the APC Chieftain, Wogo Bombs, in the presence of Rivers State PDP Chairman Desmond Akawo, to sign an affidavit to join a suit asking the court to nullify recent awards to the state congresses of the APC. Now, for better understanding of this crisis in Rivers State, chapter of the APC, and how it can be resolved, we are now being joined by Senator Magnus Abe, a party chieftain, a former national lawmaker, and a one-time secretary to the Rivers State government. Senator, I want to say thank you for joining us here on Newsday. Can you confirm this reports that you have been hobnobbing with the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, in what some will claim to be anti-party behavior?
You know, ordinarily, I would have laughed off your question. But given the times in which we are and the fact that we're on national television, there's some things you just have to respond to. What I would say is this. If we're discussing the politics of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, let us do so honestly and sincerely, looking at the issues objectively and analyzing them with a view to finding a way forward for the party. But if we're discussing speculations and smear campaigns and all that, that should be a different conversation. I don't see the relevance of that question to what is happening in the All Progressives Congress. The crisis in the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, everybody in this country who has taken an interest in what has been happening within the APC is aware of the origin of these particular issues, which predates a lot of the discussions that we're having today. The problem, as you would recall, all started before the last non-elective congresses of the party were to be held in Port Harcourt. And after party stakeholders had met to decide on the way forward for the party, it was an all-inclusive meeting in which everybody took part. The Minister of Transportation came back and disbanded everything that all the party leaders had put together and ordered that all those associated with me or who were likely to be associated with me were no longer members of the party and could not take part in any of the activities of the party. As a result of that directive, members of the party who had already paid for forms to participate in the congresses were denied participation and they went to court. That was the origin of the crisis that has continued to bedevil the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. It's the directive of the minister that all those he perceives, quote and unquote, as not being loyal to him are no longer members of the party. And this matter has been litigated up to the Supreme Court. So the continued attempt to drag the governor of Rivers State into the problem, to my mind, is nothing but childish tactics, because the governor of Rivers State is not a member of the APC. Desmond Akawo is not a member of the APC. We have our own problems. If we deal with our own problems, then we can address those outside. But to continue to try to drag them into it is just a tactic to avoid dealing with the real challenges that are facing the party. And if you look at the APC today in Rivers State, a lot of prominent members of the party are jumping out of the bus, because it is not only the driver of the bus that should have confidence in the vehicle. The passengers themselves ought to have the confidence that the vehicle will be able to take them to their promised destination. And if we continue to act in the way and manner that we have been acting and continue to blame others for the challenges that we face, I'm afraid that the confidence of both members of the public and members of the party in our ability to be able to steer this vehicle to its proper destination will continue to be called into question. That's what I think we should be talking about.
So what efforts have been made so far to reconcile both factions within the APC?
I don't think that the challenges facing the party is so much that of reconciliation, quote and unquote, as people seem to understand it. We've held virtually every kind of meeting that you can imagine. But the problem has always been with the ability of the party and its leadership to be able to look every stakeholder in the eye and get them to do what is right in the interest of the party. The last meeting we held was with the National Reconciliation Committee, headed by Senator Adamu. And there we all spoke frankly, but I don't think any of the recommendations or the approaches that the committee would recommend to overcome our challenges in the state and create a viable and authentic vehicle that can deliver on the expectations of Rivers people has been met up till now. Those I think are the challenges that the APC faces in Rivers State.
Of course, the rumors of crisis and the discussions of rancor amongst the APC in Rivers State is a bit distracting from the politics and the leadership. I'm wondering, what is the way forward?
Honestly, I believe that the only way an organization such as the All Progressives Congress, particularly in Rivers State, will be able to make progress is that we must have respect for our members. We must also have respect for our Constitution, and we must have respect for fairness, justice, equity, and be ready to accept that things will not always go our way. When you have a leadership that insists that it must be either my way or the highway, no matter what the stakes are, it becomes very difficult for you to be able to find common ground. And I believe that politics ordinarily is a game of compromise. People need to shift positions in order to find a center which can accommodate everybody. That's what I think is needed in the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State.
Senator Abe, I would like to find out from you, since you are here speaking to us, how much loss does the APC in Rivers State need to suffer before there is some sort of working relationship, if not harmony, but working relationship between yourself, your faction, and that of the Minister of Transportation? Because your party has suffered heavily. PDP literally are benefiting from the division between the factions in the APC. It has cost the APC in time past, and it's looking like it will cost them as we're getting into another election cycle.
Well, you know, the truth of the matter is that all through this crisis, the minister has insisted that he is the leader of the party in the state. And I believe that one of the responsibilities of a responsible leadership is to be able to solve problems. If you have a leadership that cannot prefer workable solutions to challenges or find ways out of what is obviously not such a very difficult problem, then it calls the capacity of that leadership into question. The problem we have in the APC in Rivers State is that we continue to use the same system, the same approach, the same bile, the same hatred to try to face what is an ordinary political issue and what should be ordinarily and easily managed political situation. And this aggressive tactics has not worked. It is not working, and it will not work. So I believe that where human beings are doing things, they should be able to evaluate their approach and their style and their system. If it is not yielding the desired result, then there is, of course, need to make adjustments and make changes in the approach and the style so that you can achieve something different. But if you continue to do the same thing over and over again, in the same manner, in exactly the same tone, it is not unexpected that people will assume that the end result will be the same.
But Senator Abe, if in the interest of moving forward, the Minister of Transportation, like you've mentioned, has refused to back down. For the interest of peace and looking at the bigger picture, can't you probably stoop to conquer?
How do you stoop? You have to understand the dynamics of what you're talking about. First of all, I have told you that the origin of the challenges the APC is facing in Rivers State was the directive that anybody who is associated with Senator Abe or anybody who says that he is for Senator Abe or whatever, ceases to be a member of the party. Do I now stoop by walking away from people who are being punished because they said that they have a right to support me or to work with me and all that? Do I now turn my back and walk away from them? Is that how to stoop? That's not how reasonable human beings behave. The proper thing for me to do, which I'm doing, is that those people, their wishes and their position within the party must be guaranteed and must be looked at. Personally, that is the most important part of this struggle to me, because I cannot stand here or sit here and allow people who did nothing against the party, who have contributed to the party, who have suffered for this party, to be punished for no reason whatsoever, and then we just walk away from it. That's just not possible. The proper thing to do is to accommodate every member of the party and build the party in such a way that people who have contributed to the party will feel an equal sense of obligation in supporting the party. Without the buy-in of all critical stakeholders, it will be very difficult for the APC to make the kind of waves that it can make in the politics of Rivers State. To continue to imagine that you can drive roughshod over all these people and achieve some magical victory is an impossibility. And I have said so. And I want to repeat that it is an impossibility. It is not possible. So we need to look for a way to accommodate people so that everybody can come together and work for the benefit of the party. That's the obvious solution, which everybody can see. But if the leadership does not see that and they still insist or feel that on their own they can drive roughshod over everybody and achieve results within Rivers State, I think that it is clear to all Nigerians that the politics of this country is changing. The awareness of the common people of their rights and their responsibilities within our democratic setup is growing every day. And those politicians who fail to realize that the politics of the past, where the boss is the boss, it can no longer apply in the democracy of today, where you have the BFAS machine, you have all sorts of electoral innovations that ensures the credibility of our elections. The wise politician of today is the one who understands the importance of the people, the critical stake in which they hold to be able to give you power, and work with them, not to give them what they want, not to give them what you want, but to find out what they want and work with the people to help the people get what the people want. Those are the kind of leaders that will be able to make impact in the politics of Nigeria moving forward. Anybody who is not bendable, or who cannot bend, or who is always right, and finds himself at loggerheads with the people is doomed to failure. That's the reality of the politics of Nigeria moving forward.
Well, Senator Magnus Abe, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday, and we do wish you all the best as you fight for your rights within the APC.